Hello, students. This short video seeks to explain some salient parts of the project manual for the undergraduate students. This is for the Faculty of Computing and Information Systems, but as IT students, diploma and degree, you would find it useful in preparing your project report. The manual touches on various aspects of the entire research report, but I would focus on the key areas that you should look at once you start your project, especially chapter 1. And then we look at formatting, issues of formatting, and how you should present the whole work from the beginning. Especially, you need to get it right. So you'll see that the manual starts with a preliminary section that has title page, certification page, abstract, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, and list of abbreviations, and then probably preface and all that. Then comes to the major component of the project work. It is important to get right, especially when you look at, let me try to zoom out so that you can read the text well. Okay, so the major component of the project work, when you look at the text part of the project work, it consists of the main chapters, right? 5 chapters for both diploma and degree. Then you can have sub-chapters, which we can say divisions and subdivisions. So we look at introduction, literature review, system specification and design, system implementation. We have conclusion and recommendation. Our focus is on chapter 1 or the introduction chapter. But the formatting, as I said, is important. So let's start with the writing mechanics. Okay. The paper type and format to be used for the project work should be International Standard Paper Size A4, and the dimensions are stated. The final project work material must meet high standards of performance, legibility, uniformity, and reproducibility, right? So these things are key. When you put up the final project report, these are things that will be looked out for. So let's look at issues of fonts. Say the same 10-point typeface as Times New Roman font is to be used for all preliminary pages, tables and figure captions, text, appendices, references, and page numbers, except for footnotes or endnotes when other distinguishing font types may be used. So it says that you should use Times New Roman font size 10, even for the text. So if we come to Microsoft Word, for instance, okay, so you may want to look at selecting the font type. So Times, you can type Times New Roman, which shows there, okay, and then it says 10, right? So the font is Times New Roman 10. Okay, right. So that is it, right? Then spacing. Text of the project work must have 1.5 spacing. The same should apply in between paragraphs. However, for the table of contents, footnotes, quotes in the text and bibliography, single space formatting must be used. So we take note of that. But for now, the focus will be on the text, the main body of the work. Okay. So for chapter 1, our focus should be on the main body, which is the text. So if we are to go back to our word, if we try typing in lots of text, right, and then we come to in terms of spacing, what it says is that it should be 1.5. So we can look at this. When you highlight this text, for instance, the whole text, you can see it's not just one line, there are several lines. It should be, you come here, you come on the paragraph group, and then you select 1.5. That should be the spacing, right? And it should also apply in between paragraphs. It talks about captions, stroke legends for tables and figures. Chapter 1, we are not looking at tables and figures yet, so I'll skip that. So pagination, it says all pages must be numbered consecutively. Each chapter should begin with a separate page. The university requires that page numbers be centered 2 lines below the bottom margin. All right. So we can look at several pages. So for instance, if we have several pages, okay. So under insert, you look for page number, right? You click on the arrow button. It says that it should be at the bottom of the page, and then it should be centered. So you can see the centered option is here. Okay. So you can see that the page number appears below the page. Okay. Okay. And then you should also make sure that the numbering is it follows. So we have 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So we have instructions for title, page, etc., and all that. At this point, you need not bother yourself too much about this for now. Okay. So length of project work. Okay, so it talks about this for now. We can ignore this for now. Let's look at the paragraphing. First line of paragraphs must be indicated by indentation. A paragraph should not be less than 5 lines and not more than 8 lines. Each paragraph should develop one main idea and should have a topic sentence which expresses this idea. Paragraphs should be right, justified. Okay. Should be right or justified. So we look at paragraphing. Okay. So the indentation means that, for instance, if we have this as paragraph, the first line, so let's say if this is one paragraph and it is followed by another paragraph, the first line should be indented, right? Indentation means that, for instance, if you press the tab key, for instance, you see that it is indented, and then this is also indented. You could do this manually, or you could come under the styles. You could also set the indentation under styles here if you don't want to do it manually. But you can watch tutorials on how to use the styles group here to set the indentation automatically. Then also you need to justify. Justify means that you under the paragraph group, you click on justify, which is this one, and then the work will be justified, right? So the margins should have the following minimum settings: top 2.5 centimeters, bottom 2.5 centimeters, left 4 centimeters, right 2.5 centimeters. Exceptions: a larger top margin may be used on pages with main headings, a larger bottom margin on pages that otherwise would have just a heading at the bottom page, larger margins around tables and figures, and smaller margins on appendix. So in order not to confuse yourself at this point, you can let's look at this minimum margins, and I'm sure the normal margin will do for you. So probably under layout, you come to margins, right? The normal margin would be the standard margins that you can set. So I think the normal margin setting should do. Okay. So you can look at normal, right? That's fine. So at this point, we will leave the appendices out at this point. Okay, so we will not bother ourselves too much with these. But what I want you to take note of is this. This is critical for the chapter 1. So for chapter 1, you are looking at the way the sections are named and numbered. So you should have 1.1 background to study, 1.2 statement of the problem, 1.3 aims and objectives, 1.4 significance of the study, 1.5 organization of the study. So this is how it should be. This is how it should be. You stick to these sections, and then the way the sections have been numbered, and then look at the page number. So you can also roughly look at, okay, then chapter 1, if I have 8 pages, that should do, and you can stick to the number of pages for for these sections, okay? So that you would not use something else, okay? So the background statement of the problem. So the background to the study should have about 5 or so pages, and statement of the problem, 1 page, the statement of the problem, followed by aims and objectives, significance and organization of the study. But the problem statement is quite important. So you may want to make sure that you do a thorough statement of the problem. So you should read on how to write a background to a study. You should read on how to write a statement, aims and objectives, and all that. You should read around that, and so that you would present your work in a standard way, in a systematic and cogent way. So you need to read on how to construct these sections. Then we can look at the referencing. So you should use the Harvard system of referencing, and you should follow these. So we have the in-text citations, where you within the body of the text, you place your in-text citations, and then you should also know how to prepare your list of references. So there is literature on how to do the Harvard referencing, and there's a guide in the manual as well. So you may want to stick to this system of referencing. You can equally learn how to use some referencing software. For instance, I can write Mendeley here. Mendeley. Okay. So okay, let me make this so you can look at this referencing software, learn how to use it. We can have a resource person coming in later to take you through a tutorial. But for now, mainly referencing software can help you in formatting your in-text citations and your list of references. So these are things that you should consider. So the list of references comes at the bottom of at the tail end of your work. So as you can see, it comes here. So with the chapter 1, it is important that you insert your list of references or bibliography. And we expect that whatever statements that you make within the body of the work, you must reference it appropriately. So it is important that you learn how to do your referencing. Otherwise, your work will be rejected. So in a nutshell, this is how you should present your work. So for now, with your chapter 1, we expect that you have your title page. Then you should have your chapter 1 in this manner, having these sections at least. You can start building your table of contents from now. You can start building your table of contents, and you should present it in the same in the same manner. So in presenting your table of contents for chapter 1, it should be presented in the same manner. Okay. So you have the heading, then you can look at whatever is in there. Title page is there. For now, you don't need all these for now. Okay. But you can just include your table of contents, and then for chapter 1, which is the body of the work. That is it. Okay. Okay. So that this would bring me to the end of the video. So thanks for watching.